Hey guys, this is Yoda. So Blizzard recently released a lot of information on 11.2, and in that information was a massive rework for Prot Warrior. A lot of talents are being moved in the Prot Warrior spec tree, and a lot of things are being changed as well. The biggest changes so far that I found are basically number one, spell block is gone. So that is going to be a massive nerf by itself. So for instance, certain bosses that where spell block was very useful on, like Big Mama, which is coming back next season. That's mainly the only one actually. Or like certain random trash mobs like in Floodgate. I guess it's mainly Floodgate, like Big Mama, and then all the mobs at the end with their magical tank busters are going to be much harder now for Prot Warrior. However, we did get some things back. One of those things is that the passive nodes that we got, for instance, Enduring Alacrity and Focused Vigor, were nerfed. However, all of the power basically that was taken away from these nodes was just added passively to the tree, or added to like some left side nodes like this one, Reinforced Plates, etc. So basically, these nodes are weaker, but you basically don't have to take them anymore, which is passive. And a few other talents were passively buffed. So we'll go over that now when we talk about the tree. So first we're going to do this. This is like your basic. You have to take this. You have to take this. Armor Specialization, I'm pretty sure you're going to want to take. Strategist is not avoidable. And Disrupting Shout is now up here. You basically always get AoE kick. Or like, you know, you can drop it for a little bit extra damage, but you're not sacrificing anything major to get it. So you're probably always going to take it. We are always going to play Rend. Fueled by Violence got massively buffed. So did Brutal Vitality. This like had a problem before, where if you were like capped on Ignore Pain, it basically didn't do anything. Now it adds to your next Ignore Pain, which is kind of nice. However, Fueled by Violence, in my opinion, is going to be way too OP to not take. This used to be 110, and now it says 200%. On top of that, we now have this Bloodborne talent, which we're definitely going to take. This used to be 2 points for 20%. Now it's 1 point for 25%. Very good talent. We're going to be taking that. Instigate is not droppable. Into the Fray is not droppable. Punish is not droppable. This is the talent that they replaced Spellblock with, by the way. LOL. 4% chance to avoid magic damage. Please get this out of my face. Delete this talent. It's so bad. Hunker Down is maybe reasonable. Spell Reflect reduces magic damage taken by additional 10%. This will be very useful, especially in Floodgate, where you take magical tank busters on a very low cooldown to match Spell Reflect's very low cooldown. So this will be very nice, especially in Floodgate. Defense stance reduces damage taken by an additional 4%, so you know you're getting a bit more DR here. Shield Wall obviously is being taken. Enduring Defenses, we're going to take this. And now you can actually not take Last Stand. It's not really blocking anything except Thunderlord. So you can choose to not play Last Stand and take Blood Surge instead. So that's what I'm going to go with right now. Since Last Stand is kind of trash, it basically just heals you for 30% and that's it. Thunderlord is nice, but I don't think it's worth 2 talent points. So we're getting Blood Surge here. And then we're getting double Shield Wall as always. Shield Charge now only costs 1 point. Before it cost 2 points. Since there was like one that gave you Shield Block and one that was Shield Charge itself. And then also the Battering Ram is gone, but we didn't play that anyway. So this is basically 1 point instead of 2 points. So we're always going to play this. Anger Management, obviously we're playing. Violent Outburst, we'll be playing. Booming Voice, we'll be playing. And Battle Scarred Veteran we will be playing. Booming Voice I think is potentially cuttable without Thunderlord, but there's not really a reason to. Shield Specialization we play because it increases your block value. And I still think we take both passive nodes, which leaves us 1 extra point. There are some extra execute damage points, but I don't think you can really play them in keys. For instance, this one, execute hits 2 additional targets for 70% damage. I don't know why they don't just make it hit 3 targets, period. Like, I feel like they should just do that, but whatever. Execute, you can actually now take Massacre, which you couldn't really take before, which is nice. I don't see you actually doing that in Mythic Plus, though, so, you know, whatever. I do have a free point here. I could just put it in Last Stand, and then maybe drop Blood Surge 2 for Thunderlord. Alternatively, you could play, like, Blood Surge and Ravager. There's also an alternate talent you could take, which is Whirling Blade. I think it's, like, pretty close with Ravager in terms of pure output, but Ravager is, like, actually controllable, so you're probably going to play Ravager. You can also play like Indomitable or something. But yeah, you have quite a few choices here. The biggest change is that Spellblock is now gone, replaced by basically Hunker Down, which is kind of not as good. But you did get a lot back, which is mainly, I would say, the Bleed package. Like, remember, it's not really mentioned in this video, but in the tier set, your Deep Wounds and Rend are going to be doing 100% more damage on a very, very high uptime. And Fueled by Violence got basically doubled from 110 to 200%. And then on top of that, you also have Bloodborne. So you're going to be healing like 4 times as much as you are on live from Fueled by Violence. And if you look at a log, so let's go to Random Floodgates, all classes, PROT Warrior. I don't know if these people were playing Fueled by Violence, but I definitely was. So let's look at my log. Healing by me. Fueled by Violence is doing 20% of my healing in this run, 185k HPS. However, if this was season 3 and I was healing 4 times as much with Fueled by Violence, instead it would be healing pretty close to 1 million HPS. And that's more HPS than I did in the whole key. So it would basically be doubling my HPS, which I think is kind of crazy. You know, we'll see if it actually ends up going live like that, or if I'm like just cooked and people are just gonna play Brutal Vitality anyway. But from what I can tell, Fueled by Violence is going to be insane for PROT Warrior. So that is exciting. Get hyped for that. Really excited to try PROT Warrior out in the new season, even though people are kind of like really sad that Spellblock is gone. I think it'll probably be okay. Not really sure how we're gonna like mess around with talents, because like not sure if I actually want to play Last Stand or not. Missing Spellblock is gonna like kind of suck to not have a cooldown, but you know, we'll see how it all goes. Anyway, that is gonna be my review for the PROT Warrior rework. Thank you all for watching. Peace out.